Hey guys, welcome back. This is RanquestLP here, bringing you episode number 4 of Civ 5, playing as Korea. Playing as a brave new world. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I've last played. We'll do a little quick recap. In our capital, Seoul, we are still working on the Great Lighthouse. It's going to take another 9 turns. Hopefully we're far enough in with our production and whatnot that we shouldn't have a problem building that. In our next city, Busan, we are working on a library it's going to take 12 more turns. We have a worker here connecting our 2 cities together to bring a trade route and hopefully get back into the positive for income. On top of that, we have 2 units roaming. One of them is actually fleeing from a barbarian up here, so hopefully we can get him to survive. If I remember correctly, yes, we started a caravan, and let's take a look at our demographics real quick. So, as far as our gross national product, we're in 5th place, so we're making a decent amount of money compared to everybody else. We're kind of in the middle of the pack. Middle of the pack for production. Crop yield, that just kind of means that we're growing the third fast. We're 8th in size, but we only have 2 cities, so that makes more sense. Our literacy is very important. We're number 2, which means that we have the most amount. We are 2nd in terms of tech, and now that we have our 2nd city, hopefully with the addition of the library, we can boost that score up. The big issue that I see here is the fact that we're dead last in soldiers. In this episode, that's what I want to do. We need to start working on some military players as soon as we start getting buildings set up. We have a little bit of money, so we're not going to be able to buy them, but we need to get working on that as fast as possible. And I think I remember Sweden being the most militaristic civ up here. They're far away, so they're going to be less likely to attack us compared to our more closer civs that I believe are going either the wonder route or going for religion. So that's definitely a benefit on our side, and we still have yet to meet the last 2, or number 1 and number 2 as far as civs go. So let's get started. So we've got unit that needs orders. So this guy is still exploring. Move him out, and we've got a barbarian encampment. Joy. So we'll start attacking him, getting some experience. Another unit. Oh, and next turn. Friendships. It is hard to find worthy friends in this world. I'd like to make a public declaration of friendship informing the other empires of the bond between our peoples. What do you say? And yes, of course, let us be friends. I would love to be friends. The more friends we have, the less likely we are to get attacked. And granted, Hiawatha is lower than us on the list, but, you know, with one friend generally comes more. So we haven't been pissing people off, which is a great thing. And unfortunately, this is not looking very good. We are hurting as far as we may lose this guy. Gustavus, or Sweden, has just finished the Colossus, which it's okay. We weren't trying to go there. And of course we'll accept embassies. The more that you like us, the safer we will be. And he's way out here. So one thing that's very interesting is we are slowly becoming... Yep, a unit was killed. We are slowly starting to create a legitimate map. So for every tile you explore, this map kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So, you know, with the addition of this guy, our scale on the map has definitely changed. And considering we only have 1 unit, it's kind of sad, but there's only so much we can do about that. Ooh, Gustavus with that wonder is actually pushed to the number 1 slot, and a lot of that score is coming just from that wonder. So once we build this lighthouse, we'll be in a lot better shape as far as score goes. We'll probably jump back up to about Attila. I mean, at this point, you know, there hasn't really been any conquests or anything like that. Ooh, Attila just skyrocketed. We've got a new social policy. So we can either go representation. Each city you found will increase the culture cost of your policies by 33% less than normal. And it also starts a golden age. So we may want to go this route. We also can get meritocracy, which gives +1 happiness for each city you own that's connected to your capital. and negative 5% unhappiness for citizens in non-occupied cities. So this is a great social policy for the long term, and I believe that right now we need income because we may have to buy units, so having a negative income is not going to help us out. This will also, for every city we found later, the costs of social policies will be reduced by 33%. And what that means is for every time you create a social policy, the next social policy will require more culture to produce, which is fine. But if you ever create a new city, even if you're in between social policies, this overall cost will jump up. And for large civs, you tend to shy away from going cultural victories, and it's kind of a double-edged sword because the less cities you own, the less your cost will be for your social policies, but you'll also be able to have less social buildings. So I guess there's a cost and a benefit to building more cities, especially if you're going for a cultural victory. But generally, you don't want to go too far as far as that. Now, aesthetics is kind of the cultural branch, so that also offsets a lot of things. Whereas liberty is kind of your overall tech branch. If you go liberty, you don't necessarily need to go cultural. So having this is nice, so you can get more. And I think the only reason why I'm going to go this route is because it's going to put us in a golden age. So we've got 10 turns of increased income, and granted, we are still in the negative, so we're -1, but that's definitely going to save us some money going forward, especially with us working on this road. And so we have one more road here, and we have another road to go. So hopefully with that, we'll be able to go back into the positive as far as costs go. We will need to start thinking about a third city going forward. 2 cities is not going to cut it, and so we need to be careful where we're building because we want to race to those good spots before the other cities go. So we've lost this financial resource deposit as well as potentially some of these other ones, but we don't want to piss people off either. So this area right here is possibly looking like a good spot. You've got some hills for production. You've got a river. So as I'm going forward, I know I need to work on military. I may build a settler in this city, in Busan, which will lower its growth, which is fine for me because it'll bump up to a 6, and then I'll start producing military in this because we'll have a high production value. So unit needs orders. Let's do some more exploration with our ship, and we've met Kiev. And Kiev is a Russian, or yes, it's in the Russian area. I've actually been watching a lot of Crusader Kings Let's Plays as of late, and that's definitely a game that I want to eventually get into. The only issue with the Crusader Kings games, and I mean they're fantastic, amazing games, but the costs to getting into one of those games is extremely high, because in order to become recent with the game, I believe with all the updates that they've added, it costs about $90 to get all the updates. And I mean, it's all worth it because it's a fantastic game, but it's definitely expensive. And I know they just came out with Europa Universalis 4, which is, dag nabbit. So we were beaten into the Great Lighthouse, which is unfortunate, but we got a whole bunch of gold for that production. So what I want to do with this guy, we can get some production, but I actually want to get some growth going. So what this means, let's choose our production. Let's get working on some defense. I'm going to start building some archers, and I want to be able to defend our position. Now, the one thing, especially with, let's just say that Gustavus is the guy that tries to attack us. We can defend against the ocean tiles easily because you only get, at least at this point in history, you get 1, maybe 2 spaces, and he's all the way far away. So I don't even know how long it would take for him to do that. So most likely his attacks are going to be based off of land units. And so what we have is, because of this mountain range here and the hills surrounding it, we have a very defensible position. So if we get some good archers and some decent meat shields, if you will, we can easily fend off somebody with a higher military than us. So let's keep traveling around this area. And Keep seems to be on a little island. There's some barbarians on this way. I'm really disappointed that we couldn't get that. And Elizabeth completed the Hanging Gardens, which is okay, because the Hanging Gardens is one of those world wonders that requires the correct social policy. So I know we didn't actually go that route, because ours, I believe, is the pyramids. So let's build some farms. We've got another one, Vatican City, the Holy City. And this is actually a religious city-state. So if you get them as their ally, they actually provide you with faith points. But the benefit is we get we get 30 gold just for meeting them, because we were the first. So that is the benefit of getting and we actually have enough to found a Parthenon. And so the Parthenon, I'll get back on the city-states in a second, but the Parthenon, essentially, it's a religious kind of sect. It's the kind of starter point for religion, and it only costs, it looks like 45 to start one. So if we look at all the different aspects, when you found a Parthenon, you can choose one modifier to your religion. And so each, this will carry over if you ever do get to create a real religion. But considering we're not going a religious path, we want to get something that's going to affect our goals. So I believe that we're going to try to find something that's going to give us either production, or we're going to get science. So we've got God of Craftsmen, production in cities with 3+ population goes +1. So that's not really a great in the long term, but it's a little bonus. We've got God of the Sea, so we can get anything. If we get fishing tiles, which we don't seem to have any near us, then we'll get 1 production per that. For ocean cities, this is huge. God of the Sea, that's almost imperative that you get that if you're starting, like, say, on an archipelago map. For science, here's one. You get +2 science in cities with a trade route, or at least a connection to your capital. And for large empires, that's actually a huge benefit. We'll get +2. If we were to choose this, we'd get +2 science, because we just finished that trade route. Fantastic. But as we build cities and connect them, this modifier will stack, which is nice. Monument of the Gods. So this gives us +15% production when we're creating wonders, but only wonders that are that are created within the ancient and classical wonders. So this gives us a short-term boost, but the long-term boost isn't very great. So I think that our best option, personally, is to go this Messenger of the Gods route, because we'll get instant +2 science from it, and then all of our cities going forward will have more science. So we're going to go that. Messenger of the Gods, yes. Now, if we wanted to, what we'd require is we could start a religion. We're 90%, we're not going to do that. But if we were to ever acquire 200 faith, we could and not necessarily have a religion within us, we could create a great profit and then start our own religion based off of that. So we've created an archer, which is nice. We got to pump out those, and because we have a barracks in the city, they instantly get promoted. And so for every military city, they'll have more experience, so you can actually get multiple promotions off of units. And again, we're going to take that rough terrain modifier. So with this guy, we're going to move him over to Busan as instant protection, because he's kind of in the forefront. And we are going to... Let's look. I want to create a couple, maybe 3 more archers. And then from there, I want to create some catapults. I can also... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build a trireme, because this trireme can possibly go out further this way, and I actually want to have this trireme discover out this way. So that's going to take 2 turns, not very much. And again, for every unit we build, we get that military score up higher. And then we've also got this, so we are... That actually gave us +6 gold, because we still are in a golden age, so we're getting additional benefit, but let's see, 6 gold from city connected between your cities and the capital. So if we get a city here, we're going to have to spend a little bit, but then we're going to get an additional benefit from that. So that essentially gave us, that nullified this road cost. But it gave us 2 more science. Alright, so what do we want to do? We don't really need this city to grow with a farm just yet. We will be putting a farm there. And the reason why we can put a farm here is because this oasis is here. So the desert can pull water from there. But we're going to start working on our other resources that we don't currently own. And I believe marble is also a luxury resource, so we'll get some additional happiness off of that. We've got another barbarian. Next turn. Hopefully nobody declares war, which I think we're going to be in a still good shot.
There is only one
philosophy.
Good, knowledge. And one evil, ignorance.
I love these quotes. So we can build temples, which give us faith. We can build the National College, which we're going to want to do. We need to make we can only do this once we build that library in that other city, because you need a library in every city you own. So having a smaller civ allows for these. This is a national wonder. I'll get into that in a second. And then the Oracle as a world wonder gives us 1 free social policy. So that's a very significant bonus as far as social policies go. But yeah, so the difference between a world wonder and a national wonder. A national wonder, every civ can build one of those. There's no differential between the two. But they require, they have a prereq as far as needing certain buildings in them beforehand, or needing certain resources in a city. So the National Wonder requires a library, which we'll get one in 2 turns, and we can instantly start building it in Seoul, which will give us a 50% boost in science. So that will essentially give us 8 more science in this city. And again, you know, the benefit of that is, as you grow your science in the city, each science that you add doesn't just add 1, it adds 1.5. So that definitely helps going forward. So it looks like the trireme isn't going much farther. That's okay. Strength versus naval units, because that's what we're guarding against. Considering that city, or that trireme's coming back, I'm going to push that guy that way. And you can go in Busan and garrison in there. Fortify. Choose production. We've got 1 more turn. I'm going to build another archer. And now that the library is done here, I'm going to build a settler in this city so I can actually get another city up here. I think that's our best bet. Unless, is there something more important going forward? Settler, 16 turns. That won't actually take 16 turns. We'll get more production going forward, but it's better that we build the settler in this city, because it's not, it's giving us 11 science, so that's nice. There are no other buildings in here that will give us science, so we're not losing anything as far as science goes. So if we build a settler in here, we're not really losing too much, is pretty much what I'm getting at. Versus building everything in Seoul, considering it is a production powerhouse. I could even, in turn, let's look at how long it would take to show the queue. 4 turns, actually. I'm going to add a settler to that queue, because that's not... So we'll actually have 4 cities. We got to think about where we're going to put that 4th city. And we may actually end up going this way. I'm not sure. But is it worth it then? I don't think it is. I'm going to listen to my advisors, and that's another thing too. I know I haven't mentioned it, but your advisors will give you recommendations based off of your production. So this red shield is for your military advisor, you have your science advisor, and your economic advisor. And so I believe what they're getting at with this is that the economic advisor is going to want us to build this because it will add a lot more growth, considering we have two different resources within that realm of +1 food. So right now, Busan has decent growth. Part of that's too because of the trade caravan that we have with pushing food forward. But once we actually get all these resources hooked up within this city will grow pretty fast. Which is great, because we want huge cities. Got another is that a trireme or is that caravel? I think it's a galley. Oh. How much health? 10. It's already hurt. So I can do some damage. So let's take that damage, get some experience. We've got another archer going. I'm going to garrison you. I need to promote you. Let's get are we in a hill? We're in a plains. But let's give you barrage anyways. Let's start pushing this way. Perfect. Got a worker here, what to do. He's just finished his farm, so we get a little bit more growth once we stop building a settler. And let's work on connecting up this mine. Oh yes, we've got multiple sources of diamonds. We need to start trading these away. So let's go Attila. Trade. Luxury resources, you have 1 copper. You don't have anything. That's goodbye. Let's try Elizabeth.
Hello again.
Trade. You've got 5 gold per turn.
Go on.
So if I give you gems, can I get bows? That will do. So it's always good to, you want to make sure when you're playing, and I know when I first started playing this game, I always made this mistake. I played as a hoarder, which doesn't really work very well. Ooh, and we have another trade route, so we're going to get that working. I played as a hoarder, so any resource that I had, I always kept. I didn't want to trade any because they're mine, and I wanted them. But that didn't... we can afford to wait. But that didn't play to my advantage. You know, after watching some people play and you know, talking to people about certain strategies, it's much more efficient to get the resource that you need to get your happiness and then trade the other resources away, because the gold will give you much more benefit going forward. So we've connected our marble, which is fantastic. Time to connect the next piece, which is bananas. Knock that guy out. Ooh, this is some nice land. It's too bad it's so far away. And you know, distance wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't a Pangea, because this is so far away that it makes it extremely difficult to defend it. And because we're on a Pangea, connecting via harbors is very difficult. But as far as a city, I mean, you got these rivers, you've got the... Jeez, what am I going to do? Get 1 movement, I can heal. I don't want to heal, because it doesn't make sense. I'm going to do... Boarding Party 2. But I'm going to run away. I'm a chicken. I don't like losing my units. I don't want to lose any more units if I can avoid it, because we really, really need to get our military score up. And so we got a caravan. Sweet. Okay, so what can we do? I'm not going to push food forward. We need to get our money situation started. So if I were to send a trade route to Mumbai, I would get 5 gold as well as +2 science, which is fantastic. And then they would get 1 gold and 2 science. So we'd actually be breaking even on the science, and I'm okay with that because they have 2 sciences that we don't have, and we have 2 sciences that they don't have. So we've gone in different branches, which is totally understandable. And as far as money goes, we're getting the most for that one. So let's get that going. Another thing too is civs generally like when you trade with them. So on top of getting all those benefits, we are getting personality modifiers. World's most progressive people. Wow. Okay, so this is based off of social policies. So unmet player number 1, he has 8 social policies, which means he's very cultural. That's kind of scary. We're not terribly behind. We're at 5, and we're tied for the bottom 7. But we got to make sure that we're building cultural buildings, and that will come again as we get more cities and build more culture. So, and this specific tech is a cultural tech where you get national epic, amphitheater, and the Parthenon, which has already been built. So thank you. We've just come up on what looks like Hiawatha's land. Settler. Let's push him forward. We got a caravan going. I actually want to push the archer with him because barbarians are bad. So ideally, I think that I'm going to want to put this city right here. No. Right here. This will give us access to the rivers. Oh, crap. Where do I want to put it? I may end up putting it in the marsh. Because we're going to need to... We got plenty of money. We're going to need to rush to those bananas so that Mumbai doesn't get any. And then that way we can let our culture come out and drift towards these sheep. But let's hold on 1 second. I'll be... Alright, so let's take a look at our demographics. I think I'm actually going to call our episode here. We have a clear path of what we need to do. I wanted to keep the... I guess let's finish out our turn. I want to keep these episodes a little bit shorter because I think that I've been taking a little too long for them. Writer's Guild will be... Liam. We don't have stone, I remember. We could possibly build the pyramids, but I think I'm going to go with the Writers Guild. And this will give us great writers, which we'll be able to use for buildings going down the road. Unit, let's push him this way. Unit needs orders. Let's get him back in the harbor so we can heal. And I'm going to call it here. So, and I'm kind of cutting it short from what I usually do, but I'm going to try to keep the episodes a little bit shorter so that we can get more episodes out. So, but anyways, guys, if you like what we're doing, leave a like, subscribe, comment, and if you want to see anything different, if you want to give some tips, anything like that, let me know. All those comments are always welcome. So, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks. Bye.